afternoon, guys. Hope everyone's well. We'll start with the manager and then we'll bring James Tav in for some questions afterwards. David, do you want to kick us off, please?
Good afternoon, Giovanni. Can you give us an update on the squad's fitness after Saturday?
Well, we have the same players available from the same players we had on Saturday. Obviously, we lose James Sands because of suspension, but otherwise we have the same players available.
Andrew?
Giovanni, Jurgen Klopp earlier on was saying that he's expecting Rangers to come out fighting because of your previous two Champions League results. Is that exactly what you expect from your team tomorrow night?
Well, of course. I mean, we lost our first games, and it means we don't have any points. So we know the challenge we face tomorrow against really good side, and we want to have results, and that's what we have to do. Of course, we have to look at ourselves, but I think we're gonna come here to have a good result. That's our intentions, and that always has to be our intention.
Look.
Giovanni, we've had many a tough European tie in the last year, but where does this one rank in terms of difficulty?
Well, it's going to be very difficult. It's a team who performed really well in the Premier League. They were in 3 finals last 5 years. It's, I think, still one of the best teams in Europe. So if you look at all our opponents we faced the last season in Europe and also this season, probably this is the strongest side.
Jordan?
Giovanni, there's two schools of thought going into this game about who you go with up front, whether it's Cholak, who's obviously in great goal scoring form, or whether you bring Morelos in. How difficult a decision is that for you, and how much it comes into, whether it's about goals, whether it's about all-round game?
Well, the decision is not difficult because you always look at the opponent, how you want to play, what kind of game we expect tomorrow, and then we choose the best option. It's always, it's good because both are really in good condition at the moment. Of course, Antonio scored a lot of goals in the league. Morelos, when he came in, also. They're two different kind of strikers. So we will always look at the game ahead, and that's the game tomorrow against Liverpool.
Raman?
Giovanni, there's a lot of hype around this fixture, a team from Scotland against a team from England. Is that a sort of fixture that can bring the best out of your players?
Well, of course. I mean, it's a huge podium for us to perform, not only for the club but also for the players. As I said before, against the quality side, and since many years there was a Scottish team playing against English team. I think the first time in both histories of the club that we're facing each other. So all good things to look forward to, and we're excited to be here and try to get a good result.
Joshua?
Giovanni, obviously Liverpool, as you say, the strongest team you faced, but they've conceded a lot of goals of late. When you've been looking at them, is there areas of their game that you feel confident your team can exploit tomorrow, even though you're playing away from home?
Well, there are always things to exploit. Any team has those areas where you can exploit. Although they haven't had a good result last Saturday, we still gonna prepare against the Liverpool team that is really good tomorrow. Because they have all the strengths they need to perform on this level, and form says nothing. I mean, it's still, as I said before, they have quality players, a good team, and a fantastic coach. So we're preparing for the best Liverpool we can face tomorrow.
Stephen?
Giovanni, we saw a return to form for Ryan Kent against Hearts the weekend. Is this a real, at his former club, is this a real stage? Is this a real opportunity for him to show what he's made of?
Well, for everyone. I mean, it's obviously we're really proud that we were back in the Champions League. It means you're gonna face really good opposition, good teams, good players you can play against, and of course, it's a motivation to perform on this level, and not only for Ryan but for my whole team and for me as a coach as well.
Chris?
Giovanni, Jurgen Klopp was very fulsome in his praise of Rangers earlier on today, but would it be fair to say the majority of the pressure is on Liverpool tomorrow?
Well, I mean, they play at home. Of course, you play home. The first result was a bad result for them. Of course, they won against Ajax, and I think the pressure is always on both teams. Of course, they are used to perform on this level. For us, it's a huge step from the last couple of years on the level we had to perform in Europe. But we embrace the challenge, and of course the pressure is also on us because we want to still be involved in Europe after the World Cup break. So that means you should have points to be won to go through. But it's a hard place to come, but still we believe there's something possible. Although we're gonna face a huge challenge.
Chris?
In terms of goalkeeping situations, you stuck with Alan McGregor at the weekend, John on the bench. Is Alan your new number one or the number one going forward? And what conversations have you had with Alan and John over that call?
Well, I don't like to talk about number one and number two. I didn't do with the start of the season when John started. John started the season, and I think the performances Alan had in the last couple of games were really good, and so he will continue in goal. Of course, I had to inform both players, which I done last week. But we all have one thing in mind: is to be successful for this club, and the decisions for me to make, and for both players to accept.
Michael?
When you analysed the game against Brighton, could you take encouragement from Brighton, not only the fact you scored 3 goals, but they had a lot of first half chances especially?
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, you will look at the opponents they faced, the way they played. Of course, they have conceded, more goals than they normally do. But for them, again, they had a bad result. A result that could have been better last Saturday, but they will go out tomorrow to give pressure to us and to win this game. So for them, it's also an opportunity to change things around. So as I said before, we're going to prepare the team as if we are playing against the strongest Liverpool side that they can be.
Andy?
The performance against Napoli last time was a big improvement in the previous game against Ajax. How much more do you think your players need to give to have a chance here tomorrow night?
Well, I think the performance we had against Napoli was a lot better than we showed against Ajax in Amsterdam. I think we competed really well until the red card, which after that made it really difficult for us to keep a clean sheet, and going forward was much more difficult. But in Europe against the opponents we face, you have to be on top form, individually, but also as a team to face the challenge you face every game in Champions League.
Buddy?
Would you accept that on the basis of form so far, we really just don't know what to expect from Liverpool or Rangers exactly in this game?
Well, it's a good game then. You're gonna watch if it can go all the way. Either, that's maybe also the beauty of football. I mean, we didn't start well in Europe. The last 2 results we had in the league, was very positive for us because the result on Saturday. And for Liverpool, it's the result they didn't win on Saturday, but still, it's a great side, and sometimes it's it's the beauty of the game, what not to expect, and form is also temporary, and that can change in one game, and we have to be prepared if the form for Liverpool changes tomorrow. We have to be prepared.
Tom?
Jude, you have a job to do on the psychology of your players to convince them that they're good enough to go out here and beat this team.
Well, we always have the belief. It starts with belief, and because if you don't have any belief when you go on the pitch, you're gonna face a impossible challenge. I think that's the character we have to show. It's also the character we've showed in the past, and we have to have the same spirit, belief to get something out of the game, because that's where it starts. Before you enter on the pitch and the whistle goes, you have to be ready, and mentally as well, because it's a very hard ground to come to, and we have to be prepared tactically for the challenge we face against playing as Liverpool, but also with the atmosphere we're gonna feel tomorrow.
Last one? Yeah.
Gio, how much does our players just have to enjoy the occasion? It's 10 years ago a club were in the third division in the Scottish football. To actually be in this stage is incredible. The fans are enjoying it. Obviously, we don't like getting beat, but we need to go out there and enjoy these occasions as well. So
Yeah.
that's important as well.
No, it's important. You know, it's many positives to take out of this year's campaign in the Champions League, because, as you said, it's been a couple of years, well, a lot of years since we act on this level. Of course, the history in the last 10 years where we had to go up to the highest level in Scotland from the bottom leagues. You know, of course, the runs in Europe were improving each year out. You know, playing the Europa League final last year was, you know, of course, a very great achievement from all of us. And you know, I think we're all proud to be at this stage to play against the team we're facing. But then again, if you are, you know, playing in top of Europe, you want to win games as well, and that's our focus mainly.
Can you just tell us, when's Tom Lawrence due to return?
Well, Tom had his recovery went on schedule, but for Tom, he sustained a new injury, unfortunately, in this week. So we have to wait how long he will be out, but I think it's going to be longer term. Yeah.
So weeks or months?
Probably more months than weeks.
Can you give us an idea what injury?
Not yet, because we're still diagnosing his injury, but I don't think we have him back before the World Cup break.
And that was in training, was it?
Yes.
Very last one.
As a Dutchman and in the World Cup year, what do you make of the form of Virgil van Dijk?
Well, I mean, you know, I love Virgil. I mean, because I think if you see his career, you know, the way he developed as a player and always took the next step in his career. I think I'm very proud of the way he performed for all his teams, but also for the national team. He's the captain of the team, and he's a true leader. So you know, for him to be going to the World Cup in November, I think for him is a proud moment as a captain. You know, the feeling I had as well going to the World Cup in 2010. But I'm really happy for him in his development, and you know, hopefully tomorrow he will not have a really good game. But no, you know, nothing but praise for him. The way he plays, the way he acts as a leader for both country and club, and I think really for us as Dutch, you know, I think he's a great example for the youngsters.
Thank you.
His form with Liverpool, he's been so criticised this season for not maybe being at the level he should be. What do you make of that?
Yeah, but he's a fantastic player. You know, form. You know, it's everyone can have a bad game or in a bad spell, but I think the backup he gets, the trust from his coach is amazing, and you know, you always go in those moments. You know, I had the same feeling when I was a player. You know, we as a team had that moments we are underperforming and in a bad moment, but in those moments you have to work hard and feel the backup of your coach, and I think that's, you know, our role as managers in those moments, to keep them motivated and keep trusting them to reverse the situation.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.